There's a place just a few hours north of San Francisco where thousands of miles of dirt roads and trails are waiting to be explored. Way back in 1996, the original backcountry discovery trail was introduced by the Mendocino National Forest. And while that overland route did a fantastic job of highlighting the forest, the 315-mile-long Mendocino Grand Circuit takes things to the next level, exploring the far corners of the forest and highlighting some of its most beautiful places and a few hidden gems along the way. It's gonna be another good one, so get comfy as we get ready to take on the Mendocino Grand Circuit. Good morning from Mendocino County. We are in Redwood Valley right now on our way to Potter Valley. Gonna meet up with a couple of my friends, and then we're going to do the Mendocino Grand Circuit. So this used to be a 300-mile route. We've actually updated it recently at about 50 more miles, some more fun, exciting stuff, some more moderate trails in there as well. It's gonna be another good one, so let's get into it here, guys.
What's going on, fellas?
What's up? What's going on, man?
Good to see you, bro.
You too. So I think it's just, you guys know each other.
Yeah, we know each other.
Well, only three of us right now. Dave got his days mixed up and thought we were meeting tomorrow, but he's gonna meet us later today. So starting with three amigos, and then we'll be up to Quattro later. So let's go. The obligatory airing down shot. Gotta do it in every single overlanding video. We do this. Why do we do this? No, I know why we do this. Right on the money. All right. So, I don't hear any tires hissing, so I'm assuming that means as soon as I throw this in the truck, we'll be on the road. So we're going up the Eel River Canyon right now. Fingers crossed that the top gate is open. The last several years I've been here, it's always been open. PG&E did gate it for a number of years, but as far as I know, it should be all good. Otherwise, we're gonna have to backtrack and end up losing like 90 minutes of time. But let's talk about what we're getting into today. So we are gonna make a stop at the Eel River. We're gonna be going up by Lake Pillsbury. Not sure we'll get shots of that today. Going up to Big Signal Mountain. That's one of the places I have yet to visit here in Mendocino National Forest. That's a bit of an out and back. And then I don't know if we get to High Glade Lookout today, but we may do that. And then trying to camp over by Deer Valley today, which is a bit ironic because it's in trees. So it's gonna be a beautiful day. Let's get into it. Oh, it's a little bumpy up here. Gosh. We're just making a quick stop here over at the Eel River. My lights are on. I'm gonna let the dogs out for a minute. Always like having breaks, checking out these beautiful spots. There goes Shasta. What are you gonna get us?
We'll see. Maybe nothing.
Well, man, it's pretty darn dusty up here, totally expected. You know, stuff in California gets totally blown out, especially Mendocino National Forest. There's not a lot of rocks. You're just kind of riding on all dirt. And so by the end of the season, it's just dust, dust, dust. And that's what we got right now. But it's expected. We've got our little shop blowers to clean things up when we get to camp. But in the meantime, we will be kicking up clouds of dust here.
The Mendocino Grand Circuit is a 300-plus mile route that traverses some of the forest's most scenic and a few out-of-the-way locations, like the out and back to Big Signal Peak. On the drive up to Big Signal Peak, we encountered 3 bears, including this bear cub that climbed up the tree upon seeing our trucks. Standing at 6,175 feet, Big Signal Peak is just one of 6 mountain peaks the Mendocino Grand Circuit traverses. The other 5 peaks include Hole Mountain, Anthony Peak, Black Butte, Bald Mountain, and Sheet Iron Mountain, and they all seem to offer impressive views. While not as rugged as the Sierra Nevada and Southern Cascades to the east, the coastal ranges, especially this corner of Northern California, are incredibly scenic. We relished the views that surrounded us before making our way back down the mountain and on to the next discovery point, Pine Mountain Lookout. Topographically, Pine Mountain Lookout sits at a peculiar location. Most of the lookouts in the Mendocino National Forest are built atop its highest peaks, typically above 6,000 feet. But Pine Mountain Lookout is different, perched instead on a small knoll with a spectacular westward view of the Eel River Canyon. While the lookout is no longer staffed, the cabin can be rented. When the old lookout is vacant, you're welcome to explore the cabin just like we did.
Well, we've arrived at Deer Valley. Now I understand why it's called Deer Valley. There's a little valley and clearing down slope of here. Up here, it's all in the trees. But pretty nice spot. Let's see if I could get the Starlink set up so I can call the wife and the kid later. In the meantime, let's get camp set up and have a cerveza. Woo. Temps has finally gone down here. See, the yellow jackets are freaking out. That's why we are not cooking dinner at the moment, just because they're gonna swarm whatever we're making. I've got some fajitas, and I'm gonna have to probably wait till like 8 o'clock to make them. So we're at Deer Valley right now. It's a really nice spot. I'd seen pictures of it. Some of the sites are really nice. Freaking meat bees. There's another one right there. But people don't do a great job of picking up their trash here, which is a shame. This is a really nice spot. There's some nicer stuff down the road when we first came in too, but we're just chilling here, waiting for Dave to show up. I have a feeling he'll probably be here in the next hour or two. In the meantime, we're just gonna hang out here, enjoy company. We have one neighbor down the road. They're probably out hunting. That's pretty much who's in the forest right now, is just hunters and us, which is fine by me. You know, I like coming out this time. Not a whole lot of people out here, but the hunters are gonna be out here when we hit Whole Mountain a couple of days, so it is what it is. But at least the hordes aren't out here because Labor Day has passed, so cheers to that. Fajitas for dinner tonight. Something got Shasta riled up. She's barking nonstop. I have no idea what the heck it is. But I'm gonna make dinner. Seems like now that the temps have cooled down, meat bees, AKA yellow jackets, have really died down. So here we go. Oh yeah. $7:40 at night, meat bees finally died down, so let me go chill with the boys. Ah! Shasta, come here. It was good, huh? Yeah, it was. You can't see her, but she liked that piece of chicken right there.
Master falconry.
Yeah.
License.
Oh, I see. I see.
Master,
Yeah,
he
Yeah,
doesn't
he
have a
trains
PhD
them
in
and
falconry.
stuff.
Yeah, not
He
PhD,
bonds with
just
them
master.
and stuff.
It's
Okay,
pretty
I
awesome,
see.
though.
I see.
I saw the pictures and I was like, what?
Those things are scary looking up close.
Oh, they're claws.
Yeah, they'll rip you.
Oh, you can tell that they're thinking when they're when you look at them.
anyway.
Exactly.
We were just
talking about it.
You get a lot of like rattle and busting and all that shit. You can't pass it out.
Stuff, everything in the back's kind of heavy and it just stays there. Okay.
Morning. It is beautiful up here right now. It's pretty darn mild. If it's not into the 60s, it will be very soon. But there's like no breeze, so even if it's high 50s, it's incredibly tolerable. Just a really nice, quiet night. We did have the one neighbor down the way, and I don't know what they were doing. They had their campsite lit up, and it's just a couple, and they were driving around their Jeep last night with all their lights on, revving their engine. But their campsite was lit up like it was a work site on the highway or something. They had these huge, like, Shasta. She's getting antsy here. They had these huge industrial lights, and it was just like, I've never seen somebody's camp lit up like that, especially for just a couple. But we got on our tents. It was all good. My buddy Jonathan, who's got the Cambo Taco, aka Hot Tub Overlander, he was saying they were up pretty late, but they weren't loud, so not a big deal. But today, going to be continuing on, going to one of my sections of the forest I've wanted to do a little bit more exploring by, and that's over by Snow Mountain Wilderness. I'll be hitting some trails over there that are by some places I've explored, and then also some places that I haven't explored. So that'll be really cool, and then we'll probably start working our way up, I don't know if that's the western flank of Snow Mountain, and then trying to camp up that way as we work towards the game reserve tomorrow, M6 and the Eel River headwaters. But should be another good one, so stick around, and looks like it's going to be a beautiful day out here in the Mendocino National Forest. All right, guys. What's for breakfast?
Breakfast burrito.
Oh, look at you. What's the verdict?
I don't make a turd.
Have you had one before?
Which, turd or burrito?
Turd.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll be out of here in a minute. So much freaking dust. God. All right, so let me give you the rundown for today. We're gonna make our way over to the High Glade Lookout here in a little bit. And then we're gonna hit something that is known as the Mendocino Discovery Corridor. I guess it's supposed to have some tighter sections and stuff, a little bit more moderate and everything like that. So that should be fun. And we'll be going down to the Rice Fork of the Eel River. And then maybe, depending on what time, we may have lunch there, maybe over at Let's Lake. And then we'll be working our way up the mountain to find camp later in the day. So it should be a good one. I think we're doing another 70, 80 miles today, so we'll see how it goes.
Heading south from Deer Valley, the forest gives way to impressive views. On this particular late summer's day, the views extended to the mountain ranges and the distant horizons, and not far from our location, we spotted Clear Lake in the distance, California's second largest freshwater lake after Lake Tahoe. As we made our way toward High Glade Lookout, our convoy of vehicles sped along the ridgetop, kicking up a large plume of dust.
Well, it looks like we're not going to do High Glade Lookout. Jonathan went way up ahead of us. You saw he was flying on those drone shots, and they got the gate closed. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. I know that got torched in a fire, so maybe they closed down the area, but it used to be open. It's like a 3/4 of a mile walk just to get there, and I don't know, the views along here are already pretty awesome, so I'm pretty happy with what we've seen so far.
We began our descent down French Ridge, taking the 51-mile Let's Lake Loop, one of the Grand Circuit's alternative routes. The trail narrows substantially with numerous steep and rocky sections, but it also features the longest sustained section of moderate trail within the entire forest at nearly 18 miles long.
I got a flat. Serious flat. Dang it. And we are in a really steep incline here, so this is not a good spot to do it. I'm gonna have to figure out where to go. So we're on a pretty steep incline. There's a little dip up here, so I'm thinking of driving the vehicle up here. And yeah, it'll be better up here, I think. I'm gonna have Ron take a look, see what he thinks. That's the one. I'm gonna try to go up the hill and
yeah, but when you went, it popped out of your,
yeah.
It was gonna start hitting the ground.
The biggest question is, if this will fit under there. Okay. Well, the jack is just like half an inch too high, and I can't get under there with a shovel, and the ground's pretty hard. We're gonna get some of Ron's traction boards. I'm gonna roll it backwards on it, hopefully get me like an inch higher, and then we can just slide the jack right under, put on the spare. We'll be on our way. All right, let's do it. Going from me to you, huh?
Well, I didn't want to be on an incline as well.
Okay.
Since we were on a rather steep incline, we decided to secure Big Blue to Jonathan's truck via a winch line.
We got it. You know what? I'm gonna go get my.
All right, got everything done. Oh, geez, came down fast. Got it. Sweat in. Freaking in the sun. It's getting warm. Got some bubble water. Thank God I had the guys with me. It just makes this so much easier. Jonathan is backing up now, so the irony is we were darn near off this little trail that is by far probably the only moderate trail that we're gonna hit. The rest of it's soft roading, so let's go. Well, trying to have lunch here, but there's so many yellow jackets out, it's insane. Oh my God.
Good luck, huh? It's nice. It's very nice. It's nice and warm. Temperature has been in the lake in a long time.
Did you toss me a bar of soap?
Well, Dave thinks he dropped his phone in the lake doing a little handstand, so he's got a metal detector in there. Dave lost his phone in the lake. He was doing a handstand. He ran in. He was heading to town because I guess it's connected to an insulin pump via his phone. He's like, I gotta have the phone to control that instead of giving himself shots every day. And then Jonathan just found the phone. So it's still on, it's still working. We got a hold of Dave, but he's like all the way down the mountain now. He was on pavement, so he's working his way back up. And then I think you guys saw, I've got a puncture in my tire. We threw about 3 or 4 hole plugs in there. We got it to slow down, but we can't plug the leak. So I'm gonna have to be super careful and just kind of play this by ear. Luckily, most of this trip is soft roading from here on out. So fingers crossed. Well, I think we are at camp. I've been coming here for many, many years. Just want to make sure that I've got some water in the creek to chill out. But looks like we're the only ones here, which is a bit surprising since it's a Friday and and hunting season is in full swing right now. All right, let the dog out. Come on. We've got the whole place to ourselves, trying to figure out what the optimal camp is. I think we're trying to find something that has minimal mosquitoes and nice access to the water. But yeah, there's definitely bugs out in here. So, and when you go in the shade, that's where they like to hang out a lot of times. So we'll figure it out though. A long day. Shasta's gonna come in here. Hi, Shasta. Wow, I haven't been here in a while. Maybe 2-3 years, and I used to come back here quite a ways back in the day, maybe 15 years ago. It was definitely before I had a kid. It's nice to chill out in here. This is actually a pretty cool stream. All right.
That's what I said. Are they sending
Having some
I'm guessing
sliders tonight.
They've had problem with like.
Quite possibly.
Hey, what's fine?
All right, let's get this going.
I said nobody answered me.
I think these are ready. Uno. That's gonna be good. Let's have some. I'm not putting it there for you, Shasta. Simply so I can grab it. All right, let's see. Okay. All right. I give it a solid B. Solid B. That was Ron setting the vibe here.
No. Maybe that's your name. Bongo.
She just likes attention.
Brought some throwing knives.
Yeah. I was doing, when my kids were little, we used to do that camping. They're fun.
It's like now you adjust the. You know, I can see something.
Might have to get some smaller stuff in there.
Yeah.
Where, and so are they east of BC?
Yeah. They're on the east of, that's where Banff
north
is.
of Montana.
Yep.
Oh, okay. It's a lot of open range up there, huh?
This one soothes my throat.
She refused to freaking eat her food.
It's a little bit more chilly here than our other spot. Gonna have some tea. Maybe take the dog for a walk. You know me, I love having my morning tea, especially with a nice bubbling creek behind us. Surprised there's that much water running in it because the rice fork didn't seem to have as much, but this thing is pretty much always running year round. Chester wants to go on a walk. You see those ears perk up? Yeah. All right, I'm gonna take her on a walk.
You know, I used to come out here way back in the day before I got into the whole adventure travel and overlanding stuff, but I have camped here many years ago. I think the first time was around 2007. Used to have a little Nissan Frontier 4x4, and that's what we used to come out here with, and it's crazy to think that's almost 20 years ago. And just coming back to these places if you've been going to for so long, what looks the same, what changes, because it all changes eventually.
So got a nice healthy breakfast here with a pretty darn ripe avocado. But let's talk about today. That trail on the way to Let's Lake yesterday, a lot of us burned a lot more fuel than we were anticipating. Jonathan's already close to empty. He's got 10 gallons of extra fuel. I don't have as much as I thought I was going to have. I didn't fill all the way up. I got about 40 gallons instead of 52. But because of that, we got to modify our route. There's no way we're going to be able to follow the original route. It's like 200 miles to Covelo if we did that. There's no way. Even I have range anxiety about that. So we're going to modify it, go back to Lake Pillsbury, hit the Soda Creek store. Hopefully we can still get fuel over there. And then we're going to go into the game reserve up over Whole Mountain and probably camp somewhere on M1 today. That'll be the plan. One of my favorite sections of the forest. Incredibly beautiful up there. And we might get on a hike over to Bloody Rock as well, which has a pretty dark history, but I've always been wanting to go out there and check it out. So we'll be on our way in an hour or two.
Zoom in and get a picture of this California-approved spout.
Oh yeah? Is it shooting all over yourself? So you can see we're right here. The original plan was to go all the way up here, then up this way, and then go out to Covelo and get some fuel. But due to some of the constraints we're dealing with and all the fuel we burned yesterday, we're gonna shoot up over Pillsbury, get some fuel there, and then go up M6 and kind of do a little loop, effectively cutting out all of this up here. We are at Soda Creek Market, better known as the cat market because there's cats everywhere. Shasta's not allowed outside, so some of the guys are gonna try to refuel. Fingers crossed.
I get confused.
You good to go? You getting another 30 miles out of this?
15.
Okay.
After a successful refueling trip to the Soda Creek store, we began making our way up Whole Mountain and into the state game refuge. We passed Bloody Rock along the way, but decided to skip the hike since the temps were rising fast. I'd heard about a mysterious barge-like relic in this part of the forest, and Jonathan claimed he knew where it was.
We're gonna go check out this mystery barge up here that's on the side of the road. I know a guy named Dylan, Bluebeard's Adventures. And I feel like he did some research on this. I can't remember if he ever figured out what the heck it is, but let's see if we can get up there. Look at this. I wonder what the heck it is. Looks like it's got some sort of exhaust. We don't know. What do you think it is?
It's to drag them across the flat ground.
I got you. It's actually
They don't have wheels. Or something like that. Because they were pumping water probably in here somewhere.
Uh-huh.
This looks like a big tank right here.
And they were pumping water. Oh, this is I know what this is.
What is it?
Slurry. So they would pump, maybe, they were pumping something in here.
We found the mysterious barge. We got to figure out what the heck it is now. But off to lunch. Let's go do it. All right, we've arrived at Horse Creek. A great spot to camp as well as have lunch. Let the dog out and have some lunch, and maybe we'll go soak in the water because Eel River headwaters are right there. Absolutely beautiful over here.
Only a few miles up the mountain, the headwaters of the Eel River originate within the northern flank of Whole Mountain. The river will travel nearly 200 miles through the heart of the Redwood Coast until it reaches the Pacific Ocean just south of Humboldt Bay. From the Eel River headwaters, we'd eventually climb up and out of the game refuge and begin making our way towards Bald Mountain. As we climbed higher in elevation, the views of the coastal range began to mesmerize the group once again. And if you get the opportunity to take on the Mendocino Grand Circuit, be sure to scramble up the steep fall line trail to the top of Bald Mountain where more views abound.
Okay, Bald Mountain's always a hit with everybody. Fantastic views, and temps have dropped dramatically. I'm getting a reading of 71, nice breeze up there, so really nice after being in like 85-degree weather and direct sun and all that stuff. But we're gonna make our way over to Hole Mountain. I think we're gonna stop at Hole's Grave. It's nice and cool right now, so the short hike should be much more enjoyable as opposed to if it was 90 degrees in direct sun. All right, so we're just on the north side of Hole Mountain right now, parked by Hole's Grave. We're gonna do some bushwhacking and see if we can find it. So the story goes as why this is named Hole Mountain after John Hole. He was up here on a hunting expedition, either shot a deer or an elk and went back up here with a Native American scout to harvest the deer and bring it back down the mountain. Well, it sounded like there was a grizzly in the bush that probably discovered the carcass and was feeding on it. And when he went to go get it, the grizzly charged him. He managed to get off a shot, and then the next shot, I guess, got stuck in his muzzle. So Shasta, come here. Had to fight the grizzly with the butt of his rifle. Both him and the bear perished up here, and his grave is still here. And it looks like there is a road here, so this will get us part way, make our job easier. So right now we're just basically walking down the side of a mountain. The fact that this burned, I think it was 4 years ago, does help out though, because a lot of the underbrush and stuff has been cleared out. So we've got a direct path down there. We just got to see if the coordinates that I have are correct. So we'll find out soon. Well, we are looking where the marker is and no dice so far. Oh, there we go. James Hole, killed by a bear. Come on, Shasta, we got to go up the mountain, up the mountain.
For anyone who makes it to the Mendocino National Forest, summiting Hole Mountain is a rite of passage. And after visiting Hole's grave, it felt like a fitting tribute to James Hole, who perished on the same mountain, less than a mile from its peak. And well, those views atop Pole Mountain, they're easily some of the best found within the entire forest. After another memorable day in the forest, we began making our way north to my favorite campsite within the entire national forest. Jonathan had camped at the location before, but it'd be the first time for both Ron and Dave.
You have about 6 beers. Ron will give you a couple gin and tonics. You strip down to your chonies. You run out here and you do some
roll in there
somersaults
in the skunk
roll
weed.
down the skunk weed. There you go.
Get all cut it up in tar.
Threw that bad boy on. You know me. I do love just a basic meal every once in a while. Minimal cleanup, and quesadillas always fits the bill with that. So we got the sunset behind us. Maybe 20 more minutes of light. That's what Jonathan was thinking. We're gonna walk over to the little bluff area over there. It's absolutely beautiful. But I gotta make sure that I don't burn this. All right, it's getting close to sunset, so we're walking out to Sunset Bluff over here. This is one of my favorite things. I haven't been here in a while. Oh, there's Shasta.
Our camp sits at about 4,500 feet, adjacent to a jagged rock outcropping and surrounded by views of Whole Mountain to the south, Anthony Peak to the north, and the rolling golden hills that Northern California is famous for. As the sun began to set, I thought about people like James Hole, the infamous Gentleman's Bandit Black Bart, and the Yuki and Pomo people who called these lands their ancestral home. The ghosts of Mendocino's past are everywhere, if you know where to look.
Taking the dog for a little walk this morning. Absolutely beautiful. One of my favorite campsites up here. And we found out why it's called Skunk Rock. Apparently there's this skunk weed. There's many varieties of skunk weed. It's just kind of a general term. Very pungent, and you could smell it right now this morning. It wasn't too bad when we got to camp, but it's really not that bad, but you can definitely smell it out here. It's growing all around these kind of open meadowlands up here. But geez, this is just spectacular with the sun rising and hitting the mountains in the distance, thinking we were just up there a couple of days ago, Big Signal Peak. Well, it's absolutely another beautiful morning here in the Mendocino National Forest. One of my favorite spots, like I told you guys yesterday, the moon coming up yesterday after that amazing sunset over behind the rock there just lit everything up. I had to go to the bathroom once or twice during the night, and it was like damn near daylight out here. It was freaking awesome. Well, let's talk about today. We need to head down to Covelo and get some fuel because a lot of us are running a little bit low. Then we're gonna head back up into the mountains, go to Anthony Peak, do a little bit of driving around FH7 and find camp for the night, and that'll be a wrap. You know, we'll end up putting well over 300 miles on this trip, so kind of altered what the original plans were based on that fuel situation from the first half of the trip, but we still got to see a huge swath of the forest and did a pretty good chunk of the Mendocino Grand Circuit as well. We kind of bounced around a little bit, but definitely kind of saw all the stuff that we wanted to see. It's going to be another good one. One of my favorite places in the National Forest. Absolutely beautiful in this area that is north of Hole Mountain. So let's get into it.
You'd think after visiting these mountains and hills so many times, the views and scenery would get old, but quite the contrary. Every time I find myself exploring these trails, I can feel the rush of life flowing through my veins. For those of us that call Northern California home, we really are blessed to live in such a beautiful place.
Well, we're all fueled up back at the Black Butte River Ranch. Well, just about. I think we're gonna go jump in the river here, make a little detour, get all this dust and gunk off of us, and then we'll be on our way up the mountain again. All right. Got the towel on, as you can see. We are gonna make a quick run down to the river here real quick, get all this dust off of us, and then shoot back up the mountain so we can get dusty one more time.
Yeah, I'm about to scrub my ass, so don't record that.
We've just departed the Black Butte River Ranch and Eel River Campground on our way up the mountain via FH7. Heading up to Anthony Peak. We'll probably be up there in about an hour and a half or so, and then after that, we're heading to camp and just gonna chill out and take it easy. It is a cool day up here and chance of rain tomorrow, so hopefully we stay dry today.
Once you've made it up Hole Mountain, you need to set your sights on Anthony Peak to the north. The lookout atop Anthony Peak is a relic from the past, and the last remaining fire lookout within the Mendocino National Forest to be staffed by a human. just under 7,000 feet, Anthony Peak sits just south of the Yollibali Mountains, which separates the coastal ranges from the more rugged Klamath Mountains to the north.
Well, Anthony Peak always delivers for first timers. They always love that you can go up to the lookout, and it's the last man lookout within the forest. I'm surprised somebody wasn't working in it today, and they'll typically give you a tour if they're up there working. But fantastic views, some of the best views in the forest. Kind of our last big discovery point along this particular trip. We are burning the dirt along FH7, which is kind of like a dirt superhighway. In fact, it stands for Forest Highway 7. Once we get on that, we'll be moving at a clip of like 30 to 40 miles an hour for a good chunk of it, making our way to Board Tree Campground. Well, we're at camp nice and early, Board Tree Camp. Last time I was here, a lot of these trees were still here, but you can tell they came in, they chopped a lot of them down because they had a fire that came through here, and they really cleaned it up, but they also, in the process, fell a lot of these trees, and they took a lot of the campsites away. So we're left with like maybe half the amount of camping space we had originally. A lot of people hunting right now, but really nice out, probably about 74 degrees, so I'm just gonna have an early dinner and settle into camp and just enjoy our last night. Okay, otherwise
whatever someone's preference is, they can just flip it.
We settled into camp for one final night, basking in the alpenglow of the setting sun in the west. Remember to stay wild, venture far, and live life.
What he needs, sir.
I told you, no one thinks
Right?
about
This
Chevy.
is the no problems, nothing. Perfect.
No one
Chevy.
thinks about Chevy.